First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to country here today. Welcome you to Warandi Budja, to saltwater country. I'd like to say Kaya Nyarni Nitya Barawarich. I am the white-bellied seagull, is my totem. I'd like to say Nyara Mort Jananga Kwaba Bujara. It's good to see you all on country today, on good country. So welcome to Warandi Budja. When we're on country, we like to introduce ourselves to country. We like to sing out to the country and let them know why we're here on country. So we say, Dema, 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 Goma, Dema, Goma, Dema, 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 Goma, 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 Jananga, 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 Nurda, 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 Jananga, 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 Nurda, 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 Warandi, Warandi, Bojara, Bojara, I'd like to thank everybody for being on Warandi Budja. I'd also like to thank the opportunity to be here at the Witchcliffe Ecovillage. It's great to see such a great project on country, delivering beneficial stuff for country. So like we say, Jananga Bujara, if we look after country, country will look after us. We all come together as one mort, as one family in a community. So this is what will be known as a kirop in our language. Kirop is the camp, where there will be a Bora Maya, plenty of houses. So plenty of houses upon Bujara, upon the country, where the mort will come together, the kirop, around the fires, around the camp. So we say Bora Korda Jarper Mort, Nyara Mort. Plenty of happiness is filled in our family's heart today.
It is so important that we recognise and acknowledge the traditional custodians of this beautiful land that we are standing on. We are privileged to be able to build our eco-village here and call this country our home. We want to acknowledge our history and keep learning from our local elders about how to manage this land into the future.
We set about right from the outset to build the most sustainable community we could possibly build in this day and age. So basically, that was looking at 100% renewable energy, 100% water from water capture on site from rainwater, fresh food produce being grown on site within the community, carbon negative homes, opportunities for employment on site, recreation on site, and so forth. So it was really looking at the village holistically to say, how can we produce everything we need to produce on site, including enough energy to actually power our electric vehicles. So, we've set about with what many called fairly lofty ambitions at the outset of the project, and we've achieved all of those, which I'm really proud of. And it's because of those objectives and what we're achieving on the ground, as well as the wonderful social outcomes of living in a community with this diversity and with this level of community infrastructure that is drawing so many people to it. Shell and I met at the Permaculture Centre in Fremantle, which was a business that I owned a half share in the early 90s. We've shared this vision to build a village like this for a long time. We both had this real desire to live in a beautiful, environment. It's been a shared dream, and we moved down here 13 years ago to, really to have a bit of a break from the city and to spend some more time with the kids. And then when this property came up for sale, it was actually a property that I'd looked at in 1994 and identified as probably the best site I'd ever seen to build a regional model based on permaculture principles. And because it had water, it was cleared, it was abutting the lovely little town village of Witchcliffe. And so when it came up for sale about 18 months after we moved down here, we both thought, rightio, let's give it a shot. We really want this to be a model for the development industry and for other communities, and everything we're doing is pretty well open source, so all of the information's on our website because we're wanting people to be able to learn from us and what we're doing. I can't wait for the day when we're all living in there and we can start analysing just how much carbon we're saving and how sustainable the community is as a whole compared to what we do in general in land development. It's been a great privilege to get to this point in time. There's been many times along the road where we didn't think we'd make it. A lot of the approvals and the process to get the approvals has been really hard work. Now that we're at this point, there's incredible interest in the project from government and from the development industry as a whole, and people are so keen to learn from what we're doing. I've been incredibly fortunate to have the most wonderful partners in the Perrin Group. It was led by Stan Perrin, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago at the age of 96. Lived an incredible life, was an incredible partner and mentor, and really gave me the ability to, as a partner that backed me financially, to be able to achieve the level of sustainability in this project. It's effectively a 50-50 joint venture collaboration between my company, Sustainable Settlements, and Perrin Developments. We're very proud of where we've got to. I think the most exciting thing about the project for me at this point in time is the incredible community of people that are coming to the project. We've got people, I suppose 50% are coming from the Margaret River region, and around about 40% from Perth, and the remainder are coming from all over the place, quite a lot from over east. People from as far away as England and New Zealand are being attracted to the project. We're really excited about the level of sustainability that we've been able to achieve, much of which wouldn't have been possible even 5 years ago, 6 years ago. The evolution of batteries and the affordability of batteries and solar panels, is really quite remarkable. Affordability has been a real driver for me from the outset of this project. When we first moved down to Margaret River about 13 years ago, it became quite apparent to me that a lot of the artisans and people that really make the place a special place to live were being driven out by price point and housing affordability. Getting a diversity of lot sizes and price points across the whole village was really important to us. A diversity, as we know, in any ecology, in any environment, the more diverse your environment, the stronger it is, and it's the same with people. The more diverse our community, be that age groups, socio-economic groups and cultural groups, the stronger the community will be. Ultimately, there's no point producing a project of this level of sustainability if it's not going to be affordable for the people that live in the region. All of the sustainability infrastructure we have provided is very expensive, like microgrids, batteries and electric vehicle chargers. In fact, there's around $1 million worth of infrastructure and landscaping in each cluster. We don't fall within the city-centric parameters of social housing, so as part of our commitment to help address the shortage of low-cost housing in the region, we've subsidised more than 15% of lots within the Ecovillage in an effort to keep them affordable, despite rising development costs. We've also set financial eligibility criteria to ensure they remain accessible to people who really need them. This includes land and a very solar passive energy efficient home with double glazing, solar panels, water tanks, connection to the community battery, community garden, etc. Importantly, this infrastructure will significantly reduce the cost of living. We've been thrilled with the demographic of the people moving in. So we've got an amazing diversity of age groups, and as well as we've got an amazing diversity of professional and backgrounds. We've got everyone from sort of architects and engineers and doctors and builders and through to horticulturalists and nurses and psychologists and geologists, and I mean it's just been really incredible, the diversity of people that are coming to the project, and it's really exciting, because if you think about moving forward as a community, the knowledge within the community, the shared knowledge within the community is really exciting, as well as the wisdom in the community. We've got quite a few people in there sort of over 65s and with incredible life experiences and wisdom to bring to the project. In terms of the buyer groups, the largest buyer group at this point are the 30 to 40-year-olds, followed by the 50 to 60s, which is our age group. And then the third largest segment is actually children. Just about everyone wants to work from home or retire within the village, so people are actually going to have time to get into their gardens. I sold a block recently to someone who was a metallurgist that works for one of the big mining companies in Perth, and she said to me, I only need to go to Perth once a month now, and for meetings, and I can do everything online. And the fact that we've got NBN fibre to every house and every business, enables people to be able to do that, which is really exciting. We know we can't keep living as we do at this point in time. We consume 10 times more per person than we did only 100 years ago. At the same time, there's 3-4 times as many of us. We have to learn to live more sustainably, to consume less, and to consume only things that really are truly sustainable. And then at the same time, we've got to start restoring our ecologies. Our ecologies sustain us, as well as all the wonderful animals that live within them. And we're so privileged to live in such a beautiful world that it's high time we've got to start changing our ways, and we've got to restore the ecologies that we've been damaging for the last couple of hundred years.
The master planning of the Ecovillage was a holistic design exercise that looked not only at the physical aspects of the development, such as the layout of the streets, the buildings, the public open space, but it really delved deeply into the profound effect that design can have on human behaviour. Good design can dramatically influence and improve the way that we act and we feel, and even the way we socialise, which is a really important part of creating a healthy, vibrant, active community that we want at the Ecovillage.
Our 11 residential clusters each have 19 to 27 homes, which research suggests is the optimum number for social connection in a neighbourhood community. And within each cluster, we have a range of lot sizes and price points to facilitate a wonderfully diverse community. Our clusters form the hub of daily community life within the Ecovillage. Each central garden is about 1 hectare in size and is a beautiful and productive shared green space with a range of amenities that residents enjoy. They have a little community meeting shed, a lawn, a fire pit, landscaped stormwater swales, and a concrete path network. A netted orchard and integrated chicken pen in each cluster will provide year-round fruit and eggs. Add to that the residents' thriving veggie patches, and we no longer have to imagine the Ecovillage as a food paradise for locavores.
Getting the lot orientation right is a crucial component of passive solar design, which helps create an energy-efficient, comfortable, light-filled home. Our larger, wider family lots are on an east-west axis and have a minimum setback of 4 meters from their neighbour to the north. This means that even if their neighbour has a 2-story home with a 30-degree roof pitch, the sun will never be blocked out. The same design principle applies to the smaller groupie and medium-sized cottage lots, which sit on a north-south axis. They are rear-loaded, so the carports and rainwater tanks are on the south side of the home, and living areas open up to the beautiful northern light and face onto their exclusive use veggie patches. We've taken our wheelchair and pram-friendly concrete path network off the streets and threaded it through the clusters to encourage social connection and minimize vehicle interaction. Walkability, accessibility, and prioritizing pedestrians over cars has always been a key objective of our planning. We want the Ecovillage to have a distinctive sense of place with an authentic architectural style, both in the sense of fitting in with the southwest landscape, as well as using natural, sustainable materials that are locally sourced wherever possible. When people visit, we want them to experience a warm, welcoming village atmosphere and to perceive that this development is different to a conventional residential subdivision. Building in the Ecovillage is governed by the Sustainable Building Design Guidelines, which were written quite simply to help residents build the most sustainable home possible. They're available for download on the document library of our website and provide advice and set minimum requirements for a whole range of issues, including site planning, internal layout, building form, construction materials, services, and approvals.
Ecovillage homes are built largely from timber, hempcrete, or straw bale, and feature materials such as timber cladding, lime or mud renders, recycled brick, and stone. Roofs are clad universally in zinc-loom for that Australian rural aesthetic, and all homes are required to have double-glazed windows.
The design guidelines outline mandatory thermal efficiency and life cycle objectives, and also specify a silver standard in the livable housing design guidelines.
This ensures all homes are carbon negative, accessible, and achieve a minimum thermal efficiency rating of 7 out of 10 stars, even though most of our homes are achieving well beyond that. Not only do these standards produce homes that are beautifully comfortable to live in all year round, where additional heating and cooling is optional, it reduces household running costs significantly. These measures help make Ecovillage homes look, feel, and perform remarkably better than your standard Australian home. Lot buyers can choose one of our 6 pre-designed Ecovillage homes that feature on our website and have it built by any builder they choose. We charge builders a modest one-off license fee to use these designs, which meet our design guidelines and have approved engineering drawings, thermal and life cycle assessments.
Alternatively, residents can go the custom home route and engage their own architect or designer to create a bespoke home to suit their needs.
All house designs must be signed off by our in-house design team through the Ecovillage design review process before they are submitted to the Shire for building approval.
Food. We're going to have a lot of it at the Ecovillage. Everywhere you go, you'll see food growing in community gardens, household veggie patches, netted orchards, agricultural lots, and productive streets and verges. Established Ecovillage residents already have thriving, beautiful gardens that are producing an abundance of organically managed, nutrient-dense, fresh food to feed themselves and their families. It's a delight to watch these gardens grow and mature alongside the development of homes.
My main role is to support the development of a strong food growing culture in the Ecovillage. Over the last couple of years, I've been developing our demonstration site, which is a working example of how we can grow vegetables, herbs and fruit, integrate domestic livestock, and what sort of composting setups are most suitable and so on in this environment. So these are biological systems, so we're working with the best living technology available to show what kind of high quality, low input production is possible, and they just get better over time. The aim is to provide residents at all levels of gardening experience with all they need to get growing.
All Ecovillages receive a copy of our Residents' Handbook, which covers many topics, but specifically takes a deep dive into gardening at the Ecovillage. We run a series of workshops for residents with all sorts of wonderful content, as well as facilitate weekly gardening group meetups where we work on each other's gardens and share our knowledge. Residents have access to specialist horticultural advice as needed, a library of books, a growing seed bank, and a database full of information.
One of the great things about being part of a community is the sharing of knowledge and skills and tools and equipment, and the opportunity to buy in bulk, which makes everything more affordable and accessible.
Growing food is a big part of village life, and it's something we can all do together. I'm loving watching it evolve and take on a life of its own. We are having an enormously positive impact on our communal carbon footprint by eating locally produced food grown in season. But add to that the social and health benefits of bringing neighbours out of their private homes into communal spaces and gardens to share knowledge and resources, work on meaningful projects together, and provide friendship and support. Well, that's just priceless. It fundamentally addresses mental health and well-being in a society that is rife with depression, anxiety and stress, and people who feel increasingly isolated in a pervasively digital world. There's no better way to combat this than with grounding social activities like gardening with friends and neighbours. So much of the design and planning of the Ecovillage has been driven by our desire to, first and foremost, make the Witchcliffe Ecovillage a caring community of happy, healthy humans. The Ecovillage Food Hub will be the cornerstone of a thriving food marketplace where local growers, vendors and eaters will come together to buy and sell and enjoy Ecovillage food. A robust sharing economy, especially in our community gardens, is already well established. It's just so lovely to see money replaced by weeding for babysitting, for example, or tomato seedlings swapped for a cooked meal. It's the perfect manifestation of the permaculture principles of earth care, people care and fair share, which is what the Ecovillage ethos is built on. Permaculture co-founder David Holmgren would be proud, and in fact told us as much when he visited the Ecovillage in 2019. We're thrilled to see residents of all ages, from 20-somethings to octogenarians, buying and building in our growing community. Our residents have a wonderful mix of professions, and there are plenty of potential volunteers in our retirees, stay-at-home parents and growing mob of kids. This mishmash of people from all walks of life is just what we were hoping for, as it makes for a rich, vibrant, stimulating community life. There are so many opportunities already for regular social interaction in the village square, community gardens and their meeting houses, not to mention the future pub, cafe and commercial precinct when they're completed. Staying healthy through physical exercise is also easy with amenities like the playing field, swimming dams and an extensive trail network. Residents will be able to walk or cycle for kilometres on the trails that ring the perimeter of the 120-hectare Ecovillage site and connect in easily to the Wadandi track that meanders all the way to Cowaramub. When we started the Witchcliffe Ecovillage project in 2009, one of our many ambitions was to be 100% self-sufficient in renewable energy. Not only have we achieved that, but we have a state-of-the-art solar energy production, storage and trading system that, when fully operational, will be unrivalled by any residential development in Australia and up there with the best in the world. The silver lining of it taking so long to get here is that we've been able to review and upgrade our energy systems along the way to take advantage of improvements in renewable technologies. First and foremost, we focused on reducing our energy demands by designing energy-efficient homes. All of the Ecovillage's residential lots have been oriented to ensure that our passive solar design homes are guaranteed 100% solar access all year round, especially during winter when we need sunlight and warmth the most. We've spent a huge amount of time researching renewable energy systems in an effort to future-proof the Ecovillage. We decided on 100% solar power, as solar panels are incredibly efficient, affordable, safe and reliable, and they make use of two things that we have in abundance: sunshine and roof space. We're working with world-leading technology suppliers and systems experts to provide the best deals possible for residents and to set a best practice example for the property industry on how to integrate renewable energy systems into new residential developments. We have a state-of-the-art electrical infrastructure system which includes household solar systems, microgrids, solar batteries, tap-and-go electric vehicle fast charging stations and connections to the Western Power grid for selling back our green power. On each home we have specified a minimum 5 kilowatt 3-phase inverter, which is the minimum and the maximum for our small groupie lots. However, our cottage lots can have up to 10 kilowatt inverters and family lots up to 12 kilowatt inverters, depending on their cluster. This enables residents to generate an immense amount of renewable energy sufficient to power both their home and their electric vehicle. With highly efficient passive solar homes that use far less energy than your average Australian home, this potential for energy production translates into a lucrative additional income stream for Ecovillage homeowners. A microgrid in each strata cluster connects the lots together to enable power sharing between households. In stages 1 to 3, the homes are connected to a cluster-level 232 kilowatt-hour Tesla PowerPack battery, and in stages 4 to 5, homes will have individual solar batteries. We also have a 75 kilowatt electric vehicle fast charging station and a single-point connection to the Western Power grid in each cluster. While we could easily have gone off-grid, we chose to connect to the Southwest Interconnected System to give us power during construction and to enable us to sell back our excess renewable energy, which will make the Western Power grid far more sustainable. As each strata cluster is large enough to be considered contestable, we've been able to negotiate great deals with alternative service providers to Synergy for retailing of our Ecovillage energy. Another important link in the Ecovillage energy system is electric vehicles, or EVs. They're the way of the future. All the world's car manufacturers know it, and their R&D is focused on rapidly bringing more EVs to the market with longer battery life, greater efficiency and cheaper prices. This is great news for Ecovillage residents, as we are now ready to take advantage of the predicted surge in EV ownership with Tritium Tap and Go EV fast charging stations located in residential clusters. Tourists can pull in and fill up their EVs with renewable energy for the drive back to Perth. That money goes straight into the Strata's bank account to offset residents' strata fees. Any money earned over and above is income for the residents of the strata cluster. Plus, they'll all be able to own EVs and charge them for free in their own garages. Over time, we anticipate this income will enable the community to fully depreciate the battery and electrical infrastructure. Witchcliffe is blessed with good rainfall and a mild climate, and the Ecovillage sits at the top of a natural water catchment which flows through the site. All this abundant, clean, renewable water is one of the main reasons why we chose this site, because without it, there's no such thing as sustainability. We've designed the Ecovillage water system around these incredible natural assets to provide resilience and water security in the face of drought, fire, or an uncertain future. Until recently, we were fortunate to have the Bureau of Meteorology's weather station on the Ecovillage site, which gave us more than 30 years of rainfall data on which we've modelled our water needs. We calculated our requirements based on 30% worse than the lowest rainfall year on record, which is even more conservative than the Department of Water's own figures. Our holistic water system design works with the site's natural springs, its beautiful wetland areas and gently rolling topography to create a sophisticated stormwater capture and reuse network. The water is filtered and cleaned through the reed beds and native vegetation planted in the 11 community garden and verge swales. It eventually ends up in one of the 3 dams or overflowing via the dam bypass valves to continue along its natural path. The existing central dam has been augmented with 2 new dams from which water is solar pumped back to the community garden tanks and agricultural lots for irrigation of productive food crops. The Ecovillage's deep sewerage system connects every household to our community scale wastewater treatment plant. This biologically treated wastewater is then used to irrigate our avocado orchard and eucalypt plantation, creating a closed loop system. Residents capture and store rainwater in their own tanks for household use and can fit grey water systems to provide an additional water source for irrigating gardens on their lots. This symbiotic system has been carefully designed to guarantee the Ecovillage's water supplies while ensuring the natural ecosystems that also rely on this precious water are not negatively impacted. The Ecovillage is not connected to the mains water supply, so every resident must install rainwater tanks on their home to supply all of their household water needs. Our water handbook, which you can find on the document library of our website, provides you with all the information you need to choose the right size tank for your household. We have estimated 100 litres of water per person per day, which should be plenty of water for the average household, but you can always upsize your tank if you want to. Grey water systems are optional, but they're a good idea for those who plan to have a substantial garden or lawn on their private lot. Our sustainable building design guidelines require most Ecovillage homes to be plumbed ready for grey water, but choosing and fitting a system is up to the individual. Residents do most of their productive gardening in their exclusive use veggie patches, which sit just outside their lot boundary in the shared community garden. Each strata cluster is provided with a generous dam water allocation to irrigate their EUAs. Reticulation points are provided for residents to fit their own drip reticulation systems. The cost of the dam water is included in the annual strata levies. We have 3 enormous dams on the Ecovillage site, which contain a total of 250 megalitres of water. That's the equivalent of 100 Olympic swimming pools. This water is used to irrigate the community gardens, street trees, verges, landscaping, the playing field, and of course the agricultural lots for growing food. The dams also provide water for firefighting, recreational activities, and perhaps a future sustainable aquaculture industry. Ecovillage residents have the exclusive privilege of swimming, kayaking and fishing in these beautifully clean freshwater pools. The dams are populated with local smooth marron, small native fish called galaxids and freshwater carter's mussels, which are natural biological filters and help to keep the dam water pristine. Eventually we plan to introduce silver perch, and once the population is stable then rainbow trout. So we'll have dam fishing seasons for residents. But if you're a salty dog and the beach is more your thing, glorious Redgate Beach is just 10 minutes down the road. Roads, footpaths and roofs create a significant amount of additional stormwater runoff, which needs to be funnelled, filtered, captured and reused. Unlike the typical suburban stormwater model of pits and pipes, we have designed our system into the landscape using interconnected planted swales and rain gardens within the clusters. So in winter we have roadside creeks, lush green verges and ponds in our community gardens. The Ecovillage is 100% solar powered, which includes all of our water pumps. So unlike mains water from Watercorp, which is one of the highest energy users in the state, our water has a very low carbon footprint. We've installed a huge solar array to power our water pumps, which feed a network of pipes connecting the dams, community gardens and agricultural lots. Wastewater treatment is a really important part of being sustainable. Our human settlements are typically designed to pump water and energy in and pump sewage out. If we truly want to be sustainable and carbon negative as a community, then we need to consider everything. We went through an incredibly complex and exhaustive process with 5 different government agencies to have our community-scale wastewater treatment plant approved. Providing a deep sewage system to every lot is what has enabled us to achieve this level of density and scale in the Ecovillage. This biological treatment plant is owned and operated by a licensed local wastewater treatment service provider and is overseen by the Economic Regulatory Authority. Residents pay annual sewer rates, which are largely in line with standard Watercorp fees. We're incredibly lucky to live in one of the most beautiful regional areas in Australia. Witchcliffe offers the kind of laid-back, nature-based lifestyle most people only dream about. But for the Ecovillage to be successful, it needs to be economically sustainable, which means having affordable housing options and providing local opportunities for businesses, jobs and tourism. Working at home or close to home also helps achieve work-life balance, that all-important goal that we all strive for. We want all people, regardless of their age, profession or financial position, to be able to live in the Ecovillage and turn their lifestyle dreams into reality. The Ecovillage is located in the stunning Cape to Cape region, just 10 kilometres south of Margaret River, the most popular tourism destination in Western Australia. We're well placed to take advantage of and cater to the regular influx of tourists that love to holiday in this beautiful corner of the world. The Ecovillage will have about 60 managed short stay units, as well as an affordable boutique backpackers hotel right on Walgine Square, which will provide a range of accommodation options for tourists and job opportunities for residents. Bringing tourists in to stay and experience life in the Ecovillage will help drive spending to other Ecovillage businesses too. Walgine Square is the magnificent centrepiece of the Ecovillage, which will become a bustling hive of activity when the surrounding public buildings are completed. These include the much anticipated community pub and microbrewery, which has an organic cafe on one side and the Backpackers Hotel on the other. These 3 venues alone will employ plenty of locals in a range of hospitality and service roles. In addition, the Creative Hub on the east side of the main village lawn will offer fertile ground for creatives, makers, artists and entrepreneurs. It will have shared offices and a collaborative working space where like-minded individuals can come together to network. We also envisage gallery and workspaces for artists and makers, and maybe even a music recording studio. The mixed-use lots occupy prime real estate fronting the village square. Between 8 to 12 lots will be available for sale. They're designed for the construction of 2-storey terrace buildings and are perfect for short-stay accommodation above, with perhaps retail shop fronts, offices, consulting rooms or gallery space below. The food hub occupies a prominent site on the piazza and will provide a vital link between Ecovillage growers on their agricultural lots and their customers. It will offer shared infrastructure such as an organic packing shed and a commercial kitchen, which can be used for processing and value adding of fresh produce, as well as provide an important marketing and distribution function. As the Ecovillage develops, the food hub will be the anchor building for surrounding food-related businesses in the commercial precinct, like a sourdough bakery, a kombucha brewery, artisanal desserts, bulk foods, possibly even a small organic winery. Eventually, we see it becoming an important regional food distribution network for buyers and sellers, and a tourism drawcard. We have 14 commercial lots for sale, half of which have superb bustle highway frontage and essentially extend the main street of Witchcliffe to the north. Typically 1,000 square metres in size, the commercial lots are zoned village centre and are suitable for a range of different business types and uses, including residential, meaning shop owners can potentially build a home behind or above their business. From retail and office space to allied health and professional services, lots in our commercial precinct offer a unique opportunity for a cohesive blend of businesses aligned to our sustainability values that will service residents' daily needs and help create a bustling village atmosphere. With NBN fibre to every premises, businesses and homes throughout the Ecovillage enjoy the fastest internet speeds and connections available. This digital commerce capability has facilitated more than a few residents to fulfil long-held desires to quit their city jobs and move down south to start home businesses or work remotely. Perhaps COVID's silver lining has been the normalisation of working remotely and the digital innovation this has stimulated. No more early wake-ups, traffic jams and long commutes. For some, the commute might simply involve a shuffle down the hallway in fluffy slippers to the home office. The Ecovillage has 16 agriculture lots that wrap the Ecovillage in a lush green belt. These small-scale farms are about 1 hectare in size and are available for sale to Ecovillage residents. The site was a former cream dairy, which speaks to the richness of the pasture and the quality of the soil. The lots are fully fenced and have a water connection to the gate. 5 megalitres of dam water is allocated to each lot per annum, which means they can be planted with high water use crops. We envisage growers will look to small-scale, high-value crops such as blueberries, garlic, intensive vegetable growing or orchards. Some buyers of ag lots may simply want more land to grow their own personal food forest. The rural zoning doesn't allow for residential living, but farming infrastructure like sheds, farm gate buildings and netted orchards are fine.
The Witchcliffe Ecovillage is located on beautiful Wadandi Budja, country of saltwater people. During our planning processes, we consulted widely with our Wadandi Budja elders, and they were supportive of the Ecovillage. When it came time to name our streets, we sat down and talked with Wayne, Tony and Zach Webb of the Underlup Association, and they generously gave us their permission to use Wadandi names for the plants and animals that we know already live here. So our streets have beautiful names like Kulbadi for the magpies that live in our forest, Kailoring for the elegant parrot who feeds on weed seeds in our pasture, and Ionich for the masked owl that screeches by the creek some evenings. We put a lot of thought into the ownership structure of the Ecovillage because it was really important to us to ensure that the vision and sustainability objectives of the Ecovillage would live on in time. By choosing a strata title model for our development, the Ecovillage strata bylaws will enshrine these sustainability objectives into the future and provide a governance mechanism for decision making. Survey strata ownership means you own the freehold title to your lot, but the big advantage of survey strata ownership at the Ecovillage is that it allows residents within a cluster to share the common ownership of the community garden. Each strata cluster will have its own strata council, with representatives nominated from within the cluster's residents and elected annually through an AGM. There are annual strata fees with each lot, which are used to pay for the running costs of the community garden, including depreciation of shared infrastructure like the electrical microgrid and battery. Owners also pay sewer rates and Augusta Margaret River Shire rates. The ownership handbook in the document library of our website explains the Ecovillage strata ownership model in more detail. Outside of the residential footprint of the Ecovillage is about 40 hectares of land, which includes our 3 large dams, conservation zones, an amphitheatre, a future education precinct, and the wastewater treatment vegetation areas. This land is owned and managed by a not-for-profit company called Ecovillage Commons Limited, which holds this land in trust for its members. Essentially, this means that each Ecovillage household has a say in the management of the ECL and the ability to share in and enjoy its amenity and benefits. The ECL manages this large parcel of land and its associated infrastructure. It can also run events such as concerts in our natural amphitheatre, sustainability expos or markets. There are just so many opportunities for community events within the Ecovillage. We've created dedicated conservation zones around the remnant bush areas and wetlands to ensure that we care for and maintain the natural creek flows and riparian habitat. We are lucky to have the top of the catchment on our site, and we've revegetated this waterway and the edges of the new dams to actively encourage native birds and animals into these areas. The bird life at the Ecovillage is spectacular. We have so many resident and visiting bird species, including black swans, the calljack, who come and stay in our dams over autumn every year as they head towards their breeding grounds. Another important point to note when talking about conservation is our strict no-cap policy, which is outlined in the strata bylaws. Dogs are allowed, but are required to be kept indoors at night to prevent nuisance barking. We also want to encourage native nocturnal animals like our little brush-tailed phascogale, the wambenga, to safely come into the Ecovillage gardens at night. Our successful bid to the Shire to allow us to exclude streetlights from the Ecovillage, except in the village square, allows us to enjoy the starry night sky, as well as visits from our nocturnal co-inhabitants.
It's very hard to stay positive all the time because we're continually seeing on the news now what's happening in terms of climate change and the destruction of our environment. But the reality is that we can change and we can live sustainably. And I think that, the exciting things about, this project for the community moving into this project is that we're all going to work together to really show how sustainably we can live in this beautiful environment.